Really great to be here. Really great to talk to you about CIC and what our mission is. I really want you to think about CIC as kind of an implementation of what you've heard about the CAEO's efforts about integrating research and academia with cyber and cyber certification. So at CIC, we've got three kind of major programs. We have our cyber workforce program, where we have certificate programs. So for example, we have a CIO leadership program. We have a chief data officer program. We also have a Master's of Science program in two forms. We have an online distance learning master's degree program in cyber, and we also have our JPME, our War College program in cyber as well. And then finally, we have our UC2 initiative, which is our Department of Defense University Consortium for Cybersecurity, and that's with our tagline, research through partnership. So I'll hit those three kind of really quickly. So our certificate program, again, we've got a number of certificates. We are aligning our certificates to the DoD CIO's Cyber Workforce Framework. So as an example, we have our Chief Data Officer program. Again, you take kind of 5 classes over the course of 2 or so years. We are aligning what you learn in that course with the KSATs that if you go pull up what's in the websites you've just been seeing, those KSATs for a data officer is what we're aligning our certificate program towards. So that rings to all the academic people in this room. You should be doing something similar. We have a student goes to University of wherever, and they're going to get a certificate program. They're getting the skills, the knowledge, the attributes they need to be part of the cyber workforce. You have to have that end in mind. Which of these, is it 74 now? 74 work roles that you want to be to align yourself to those skills. Part of this, as you've heard, is about the professionalization of this space. As again, if you heard this morning talk and heard Mr. Clary talk about where's the ring on our HammerCon ring? The band, right? The band of excellence, the professionalism in the MCPA. Being a professional means that you can be expected to have these things that you know and able to do. And we have lots of these throughout our country. Fire departments, I mean, they all know that, I mean, they go to the fire, there are standards, there's ways we fight fires in the United States. Our dentists are the same way. I mean, I've had at least a dozen dentists work on my teeth over the last 40-some years, and they look at your mouth, they know what the dental work is, and they know how to, because they have that same kind of understanding of what the mouth is. We have to create that same kind of understanding of what is this cyberspace that we're creating effects in, both for our own internal aspects and externally. And this is why the DoD Cyber Workforce Framework is so important. On one of my own personal journeys, and again, our issue with our OPM codes and why the Cyber Workforce Framework is so important is that the OPM codes were just designed decades ago. I mean, I don't know how many decades ago, but as an example, I mean, now that I'm a DoD civilian, I'm a 1702, which is an education and instructional occupation professional, something. But that same job code is one of my classmates from college. He was an elementary school teacher, right? He's a 1702 as well. Whereas what I'm doing and what he's doing are completely different things, but we're both, to the federal government, I'm a 1702, whereas I'd be a horrible elementary school teacher, okay? Whereas I think I'm a pretty good, and I have to get my job code, I think I'm a pretty good 711, which is a cyber instructional and curriculum developer. And there's a lot of job sets that I should be able to do to be able to teach cyber. And that's why the professionalization of this area is so important. One of the areas that I do want to get input from the field on is how we should think about what a senior leader should be in cyberspace, and what are those kind of knowledge, skills, and attributes do they need to be that person that understands both kind of the warfighting aspect of a combatant command, and then what can the cyber, not just the cyber effects, but the cyber effects and other information effects that the DoD can create can we leverage in our warfighting systems. Now that the Joint Staff has created information as a joint function, we, the community, have to be training this concept of broader information effects as our concept. And we can't just continue to stovepipe our psychological operations, our information operations people on one side, and our cyber effects on the other side. We're all trying to get the same effect. You're trying to get a cognitive effect in the minds of your adversary, but we're mostly using, as we all know, we're using this, right? It's all cyber. Everything you take on almost everything, you're not getting it from a piece of paper like I am here, you're getting it from your phone, and everyone else, or 80% of the people in the world are today. So we have to at least learn how to merge these two things. I want to spend the last bit of my time talking a little bit more about UC2 because it'll be a good setup to Viceroy. So over the last few years, we have established UC2, and if you do not know much about UC2, please talk to some of the people in the room or go out and talk to our booth. They've got all their stories. UC2 is a great way for researchers to get into the space, to do cybersecurity research, and to do the interchange between kind of the academic research as well as kind of the connectivity back into the DoD to make sure your research is being used by the warfighter. UC2, again, typically does like 6.1, basic research in this area, so fundamental research. A lot of the cyber the NCAE kind of programs are also tied into that, so it's a great way for students to not only kind of get qualified in their cyber, in their work role, but also to do research at the same time, because as we know, cyberspace doesn't stand still. We're always moving, we're always evolving, and then our research, our education has to evolve with it. So I will speak briefly and take any questions from you. Everyone's gonna go see their dentist now? Anyways, thank you, and I'll be followed by Justin.